Welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, this is the passion flower, and even though we're well into the middle of November, there's still lots of flowers, and I can't believe how well this looks. Now the fruits have been growing away, but we haven't had any fall on the floor, and they are a little bit squidgy, probably a little bit overripe. So I thought it was time for a bit of a taste test. Don't know. Anyway, let's get back in the greenhouse. So it looks like I may have needed to pick them early, but they've always been quite squidgy, not as full as what you'd see in the shops. That one looks like it's gone perhaps overripe, but let's have a look at this. Doesn't look very appetizing, but we'll give it a try. Yeah, quite nice actually. I'll finish that off. Yeah, so I think they didn't drop off, so I think we need to pick them beforehand, but they've been on there such a long time now. But yeah, pleased with those. So a little bit of update in the greenhouse grow room. These are my money makers. These are the tomatoes that were shop bought. This is a plum tomato that was given to me in a bucket of food scraps for the compost bin. There's the Gigantimo. I tried to save some cucumber seeds, but they're very thin, so I don't think any of those are viable. And the broad beans are drying out nicely, and the pepper plant, that's okay at the moment. That's the one that we potted on, that we had given to us free in a previous video, and I had a suggestion to try and save one of these peppers by actually taking all the soil from around the roots, drying them out a little bit, and then I'm going to bury them in this dry compost. He says it's dry, but they are absorbing some moisture. But these tubers are still quite firm, and they've been in here quite a while now. These are the ones from out the garden. So I'm going to cover this up now with cocoa coir, and we'll see what happens in the spring when we reveal that. The fallen apples that I collect, that people leave out, they're storing quite well in here. There's a lot of bruised ones, as you'd probably expect, but every week I go through them, and the ones that have started to go bad we cut up and have a nice stewed apple. Saved us absolutely loads of money, especially with these eating apples. They don't look nice, but by gum they taste really really good. When we had those really hard frosts, I covered the front to stop some of the heat escaping, and that just lifted the temperature just enough to keep the plants happy without turning the heat up. I've just turned that bulb off so we can see, and these are the pepper plants out of the worm bin. If you remember, they were very small. Those need potting on. I'm not sure whether they'll actually survive, but they wanted to start growing in the worm bin, so we'll help them along. And in there we've got a mixture of Bedfordshire Champions and Kelsey from Pete's back garden. And I've got 3 of Dan's £10 onions there, still going, but I think they need potting on now. The roots are just starting to come out the bottom. I've already saved my trailing tomatoes, so it's time now to put the tomatoes into here. Just making sure I don't mix them up. These will be covered in compost, taken back to the polytunnel, and they'll stay there for the winter. We don't want them warm, else they'll start growing. I've actually used good clean compost so that we don't get any tomatoes come up from the compost bin. There's a few tomatoes in there. Don't want dirty hands. Just going to pour the juices away. This is an F1 and it shouldn't actually grow, but it did. So to me, naturally the tomato would fall off, rot down, get covered with soil, debris, leaves, etc. And then when it's right next year they should grow, and we proved that last year. So these will be popped up to the polytunnel and we'll give you an update in spring. And what I normally do is actually take some of the compost and put it into a tray and bring it into the grow room, but that'll be for something for next year. Yeah, they're ready to go up the allotment now, and unfortunately one of my disasters, the pak choi, suddenly within a few days got infestated with green fly, and it's gone. I may have left it too long, but that's not the point. With these dark nights, you can't always see. Once you get to work in the dark, you come back in the dark, and unfortunately I missed that. Lesson learned. This log bay is almost empty now, so I'll be able to get these logs that aren't dry enough into that bay, so I can stack some more of my bits and bobs in here and start to get a little bit more tidier. Happy gardening to you all. Now, in the pinned comment below there will be a question, so that we don't get people just turning up for my subscribers, 3,000 subscribers video and premiere. There'll be a question there that you've got plenty of time to find the answer. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.